the ocean is never silent. Beneath the waves, where light fades and shadows rule, a war is rising. The mermaids sing of peace, of harmony and balance, but their voices are being drowned out by something darker, an ancient power returning with vengeance. The Sirens, their song is not one of peace but of hunger. Their melody does not heal, it consumes. And as Seabrook celebrates new beginnings, it has no idea that danger is rushing toward its shores, far below the surface of the sea, where coral gardens glow with soft colors and currents move like living rivers. The mermaids keep their watch. For centuries, they have been guardians of the deep, protectors of the ocean's balance. Their realm is bright, filled with shimmering towers of pearl and crystal, their voices rising together in songs that heal the wounded and calm the tides. Among them, young mermaids are taught that the ocean itself listens to their music, that the waves will always answer those who sing with truth, but not all creatures of the sea honor this harmony. In the darker trenches, where no sunlight ever touches, the sirens stir. Long ago, they were cast out from the mermaids' kingdom, banished for using their voices not to protect, but to dominate. Their songs were poisoned with greed, laced with deception, designed to lure sailors to their doom and drown the hearts of the innocent. The mermaids locked them away in caverns of silence, guarded by currents that no ordinary being could escape. For generations, the ocean was safe. Until now, whispers spread through the deep that the sirens have found a way to break free. Strange. Currents ripple through the waters, unnatural and cold. Creatures of the sea, schools of fish, pods of dolphins flee from unseen dangers, their instincts warning them of what is to come. Even the tides near Seabrook grow restless, shifting. Without the moon's call, as though something below stirs them into chaos. On the shores above, Seabrook itself basks in peace. Zombies, werewolves, aliens all have found their place in the town. After years of division, unity has finally brought harmony to the community. Addison and Zed dream of a future where differences no longer divide anyone, where friendship is stronger than fear. Yet even as Seabrook celebrates this new chapter, the ocean watches. And the ocean never forgets. Far beneath the calm surface, a single voice rises from the darkness. It is not the gentle melody of a mermaid. It is sharp, cruel, commanding, a siren song. Its notes curl like smoke through the water, twisting currents, waking storms. One by one, other voices join, sirens long hidden in the shadows, their power building into a chorus of dread. Their prison has shattered. Their time has come, the mermaids sense it immediately. The ocean's harmony falters, their songs trembling as if choked by fear. Their queen gathers them in the great coral hall, her eyes filled with sorrow and fire. She speaks of the old war, of the betrayal that tore sisters apart and turned voices of beauty into weapons of destruction. She warns that if the sirens rise, again, the ocean will bleed and Seabrook will not escape their wrath, but even as the mermaids prepare, there is doubt. They have always lived in peace, never seeking war, never raising their songs as blades. Some whisper that the sirens cannot be stopped, that their hunger will consume all. Others believe in prophecy, one that speaks of a bridge between worlds, a child of land and sea, one who will bring light into darkness. Their hope rests in a story. But the storm that grows beneath the waves does not wait for hope. The first strike comes without warning. A siren song drifts to the surface, reaching a fishing boat near Seabrook's harbor. The sailors hear music so sweet it feels like a dream, their eyes glazing over as they lean into the dark waters. One by one, they disappear into the sea, vanishing without a trace. The town will hear rumors of the vanishing, but none will guess the truth, that the war has already begun. For now, Seabrook sleeps, the mermaids prepare, the sirens rise, and the ocean, caught between harmony and hunger, begins to churn. The night after the sailors vanished, the ocean grew restless. Waves rose higher than usual, crashing against the shore with strange rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. The moon's reflection trembled on the water, broken again and again by spirals, forming deep below. Seabrook slept peacefully, unaware that beneath the waves, The mermaids had gathered in silence. In the glowing heart of their coral kingdom, the mermaid queen sat on her throne of seashells, her silver hair drifting like threads of light in the water. Around her the mermaids sang softly, voices weaving together in a shield to hold back the darkness pressing in. But their song was no longer strong enough. For every note of harmony, an echo rose from the depths, a countersong, jagged and cruel. The sirens were answering, louder each time. Twisting the ocean currents into weapons, the queen raised her hand, and the voices of her people fell quiet. Her eyes were steady, but her heart was heavy. "The sirens have broken their prison," she said, her voice carrying through the chamber like a tide. "They rise to take what was never theirs, to rule the sea, to conquer the shore. But this is not only our fight. Their song does not end with us. It will reach the humans, it will reach Seabrook." A hush followed her words. For the first time in centuries, the mermaids understood the danger was not only theirs. If Seabrook fell under the siren's spell, all unity, all peace would drown. The ocean and the land would both be lost, but not all mermaids agreed on the path ahead. Some argued for retreat to hide in the far corners of the sea, safe from the siren's reach. Others demanded battle, voices sharp with anger. And in the center of this storm of debate stood a young mermaid named Nerina, whose scales shimmered like the dawn. She had always been bold, always curious about the world above. Now her voice trembled with fire. "If we wait, they will take everything. If we fight, we might lose. But if we do nothing, we have already lost." The queen listened, and in her silence Nerina's words echoed. At last she nodded. "Then we must sing." That night, as Seabrook slept, the mermaids rose to the surface. Dozens of them broke through the waves, their glowing fins casting streaks of light beneath the moon. They gathered in a circle, hands joined, their song rising together in a melody so pure it seemed to heal the air itself. The waters calmed, the storms quieted, and for a moment, hope shimmered like starlight on the sea. But hope never stands alone. From the deep, another sound emerged, low at first, then rising like a scream in the dark. The sirens had come. Their forms tore through the shadows, eyes glowing crimson, fins edged with jagged scales like broken glass. Their voices clashed with the mermaid's song, turning the water violent, twisting the calm into chaos. The ocean itself seemed to split, half glowing with the mermaid's light, half boiling with the siren's darkness. The first battle began not with weapons, but with music. The mermaids sang of peace, their voices carrying notes of healing, strength and hope. The sirens answered with hunger, their song a lure that clawed at the mind, pulling at weakness, turning dreams into nightmares. Waves crashed higher, wings screamed across the shore, lightning cut through the sky. The clash of songs shook both sea and land. For a moment, the mermaids held strong, their harmony pressing the sirens back. Nerina's voice rose above the others, shining with courage. But the sirens did not fight with strength alone, they fought with trickery. One broke from the shadows, her song aimed not at the group, but at Nerina herself. The notes curled into her mind, whispering doubts, fears, memories of failure. Her voice faltered. And when it did, the circle of light broke. The sirens surged forward, their chorus roaring like thunder. The ocean spun into whirlpools, dragging ships into their grip. The mermaids scattered, their shields shattered, their queen forced to retreat into the depths. Nerina struggled against the pull, her song weak, her body caught in the storm. She felt herself sinking, darkness closing in, and then silence. A new voice rose through the chaos. Not siren, not mermaid, but something in between. A voice that cut through the storm, steady and bright. Nerina gasped as she felt the grip of the siren's song weaken. The ocean calmed just for a breath. The sirens recoiled, hissing, their crimson eyes burning with rage. Far away, on the shore of Seabrook, a single figure stood watching the ocean, her hair glowing faintly in the moonlight. Addison, the battle had only just begun. The ocean lay quiet after the clash, but it was not the calm of peace. It was the silence of something broken, the kind of silence that follows a storm yet promises another on the horizon. The mermaids had retreated deep into their glowing kingdom, nursing wounds and whispering fears. The sirens had not won fully, but they had made their mark. The ocean now pulsed with their influence. The tides bending to their will, Nerina drifted. In the chamber of healing, her body weak, her voice scarred from the battle. She remembered the moment she faltered, the whisper in her mind, the darkness that wrapped around her like chains. Shame pressed heavy on her chest. She had wanted to fight, to lead, but now she felt like she had doomed them all. Yet, in her memory, one sound stood apart from the storm. A voice, not theirs. A voice that cut through the siren's curse. She raised her eyes to the queen. Someone sang with us. Someone not of the sea? The queen's gaze turned distant, her thoughts heavy. She remembered the prophecy, ancient words carved into the oldest shells of their temple. When the sea and the land break apart, one born of both worlds shall mend the tide. It was not myth. It was truth, and it had begun. Above the waves, Addison could not sleep. She stood at her window, staring at the restless ocean. The glow in her hair, once a mystery she barely understood, now burned brighter under the moonlight. She remembered the sound that had escaped her lips, a note that seemed to rise on its own, carrying into the storm. She had not meant to sing, but she had. And the ocean had answered. Her heart raced as she whispered to herself, "What am I becoming?" The next morning, whispers spread across Seabrook of strange lights on the ocean and boats missing from the harbor. Most brushed it off as storms, but Addison knew the truth. She could feel it like the tide pulling at her soul. And then the mermaids came. As the sun set, Addison walked the shore alone, the waves foaming at her feet. Suddenly the water parted. From the sea emerged Nerina, her scales battered, her eyes fierce with urgency. Behind her, other mermaids shimmered faintly, their presence half hidden in the surf. Addison gasped, stepping back, but Nerina's voice stopped her. "You sang." Addison froze. I don't know what I did." "You sang," Nerina repeated, her voice trembling with awe. "And your song broke the siren's curse. You are the bridge between our world and yours. You are the prophecy." Addison shook her head, fear and disbelief battling inside her. I can't, I'm just... But even as she spoke, she felt the glow in her hair, the way the ocean seemed to lean closer, listening. She wasn't just Addison anymore. She never had been. The mermaid queen appeared then, rising from the sea with regal grace. Her eyes, ancient and knowing, locked onto Addison. "Child of light," she said, her voice carrying the weight of the ocean itself. "The war has begun, and without you, all will fall. The sirens grow stronger each night. Soon, their song will reach your people, and Seabrook will bow to their will. We need you. The ocean needs you." Addison's heart pounded. She thought of Zed, of her friends, of everything they had fought for in Seabrook. Could she really leave all of it behind? Could she risk everything to fight in a war beneath the sea? Before she could answer, the air shifted. The ocean behind the mermaids darkened, currents twisting into whirlpools. A song rose low, sinister, sharp as claws. The sirens had come, from the depths. Their forms emerged, shadows against the waves. Their eyes burned crimson, their voices curling into the minds of all who heard. Even Addison felt the pull, a whisper inside her head telling her to walk forward, to surrender, to drown. Nerina grabbed her hand, singing desperately, her melody a shield against the curse, but the sirens' voices were too strong. The sky itself seemed to darken, clouds spiraling, lightning breaking across the horizon. One siren, taller than the rest, stepped forward, her smile cruel. "So, the child of prophecy sings at last." Her voice dripped with venom. "We will take her. With her power, the ocean will belong to us." Addison's knees buckled, her mind flooding with visions. Not her own city sinking, Seabrook falling to ruin, the world swallowed by tides of red. She screamed, but her voice twisted into a note, one pure and bright, bursting from her chest. The sound struck the sirens like lightning, breaking their song for a heartbeat. The mermaids gasped. Nerina clutched Addison's hand tighter. The queen's eyes shone with hope. The siren leader hissed, her voice shaking the waves. "Then the battle begins, and the ocean will be ours." The The sea erupted in chaos as sirens dove forward, their chorus rising like a storm. Mermaids braced. Addison caught in the middle, her voice trembling but rising. The clash of songs began anew, this time with Seabrook's future on the line. The sea had never known such fury. Storms churned across the surface, lightning clawing at the sky, while beneath the waves the true battle began. Mermaids and sirens surged toward one another, songs colliding like swords, melodies and screams tearing through the water with a force that bent currents and shattered coral. Addison was pulled into the depths, her lungs burning, her body trembling with fear. But when Narina's hand gripped hers, the panic eased. The mermaid's voice wrapped around her like a shield, guiding her through the chaos. "Breathe," Narina whispered, her song weaving into Addison's chest. And suddenly Addison could. The ocean filled her lungs not with water, but with strength. She was no longer just human. She was something more. The mermaid queen swam ahead, her voice rising above the fray, rallying her people. Their songs shimmered with light, each note casting beams that cut through the sirens' darkness. Schools of glowing fish joined them, swirling into patterns that amplified the melody, the ocean itself responding to their call. But the sirens were relentless. Their leader raised her arms, her crimson eyes blazing, and unleashed a note so powerful it cracked stone. Whirlpools exploded to life, dragging mermaids into their spirals. Seaweed lashed like chains, binding fins and pulling warriors into the abyss. The sirens' chorus rose in hunger, promising destruction not only of the sea, but of Seabrook above. Addison felt the pull of their song clawing into her mind, threatening to drown her will. Memories twisted, showing her visions of failure, of Zed turning from her, of Seabrook crumbling underwater. She screamed, but the sound came as song pure, defiant, unstoppable. A wave of silver light burst from her, pushing the darkness back for a heartbeat. The mermaids froze, staring. Even the sirens paused. Addison's voice did not belong only to land or sea. It was both. It was the bridge. The queen's voice joined. Hers, Narina's too, and together they wove a new melody, one of defiance, one of unity. The ocean began to shift, currents flowing toward them, lending power. Addison could feel it, every drop of water, every heartbeat in the sea, answering. Their call, the siren leader snarled, her voice striking like a blade. "You are mine, child of prophecy, your power belongs to me." She lunged forward, her song aimed at Addison alone, piercing, suffocating. Addison's vision blurred, her body shaking. But then she remembered Zed's smile, Seabrook's laughter, the unity they had fought for on land. She remembered who she was. She sang. It was not just a note. It was a roar, a wave of light that burst from her chest and flooded the ocean. The water itself glowed silver, wrapping around the mermaids, strengthening their voices. The sirens shrieked. As their melody cracked, their crimson eyes dimming under the weight of Addison's song. For the first time they faltered, but victory would not come easily. The siren leader screamed louder, summoning the darkest depths to her aid. From the trench rose monstrous shadows, creatures long hidden, twisted by siren power. Tentacles lashed, jaws snapped, chaos raged. The ocean shook with their fury, the mermaids fought with all they had. Coral spears struck, light shields rose, voices soared. Narina darted through the chaos, singing notes that cut the chains binding her people. The queen unleashed her full power, her voice so mighty the sea itself bent to her will, striking back. With tidal waves and at the center of it all, Addison stood glowing like a star beneath the waves. Her hair streamed with light, her eyes burning with determination. The sirens closed in, their chorus desperate, their hunger wild. Addison's song rose higher, joined by every mermaid voice around her. The melodies clashed, the sea trembling, the surface above roaring with waves that crashed upon Seabrook shore. The siren leader shrieked as the silver light pierced her song, breaking it apart. The whirlpools dissolved, the monsters fell back into shadow, and one by one the sirens were driven into retreat, their voices cracking into silence. The leader, her power shattered, hissed with venom. "This is not the end." The ocean remembers. and we will rise again." With a final scream, she vanished into the trench, dragging her defeated army into darkness. Silence fell. The mermaids, battered but unbroken, surrounded Addison. The queen bowed her head, her eyes gleaming with gratitude. "You are the bridge. Without you, all would have fallen. The sea owes you its life." Addison looked around, her chest still heaving, her heart pounding with both triumph and fear. She had saved them, but she knew the siren's words were true. This was not the end. It was only the beginning. As she rose back to the surface, the ocean calm once more, she gazed at the shore of Seabrook. The lights of her town glimmered in the distance, unaware of the war that had just been fought beneath their feet. Addison whispered to herself, her voice trembling with both resolve and uncertainty. "The ocean isn't finished. And neither am I." The waves answered with a quiet roar, as if promising that the true battle was yet to come.